Well, we have another death in the upper echelon here. Mr. Iwata, CEO of Nintendo, dies at 55 last week. That is 55. Steve Jobs, of course, died at 56. And according to Forbes magazine, in March of 2011, the average billionaire's age in America is 66. So what's going on here? When you look at the top 20 longevity cultures, they all have 40 times 100-year-olds we do. They have 100-year-old per 250 of their population. We Americans have 100-year-old per 10,000. And they're third world cultures. They're illiterate. They have no doctors, no insurance, government or private. They have no emergency services, no hospitals, no clinics, no pharmaceuticals. And yet they have 40 times 100-year-olds we do. So when you really look seriously at what's going on here, why do these people who are third world cultures, illiterate, why do they live longer and are healthier than people who can afford the best? I mean, with Steve Jobs and Iwata, probably spent $1,000 a meal for food. They had the best chefs, lived the lifestyle that everybody wanted, but they died at 55 for Mr. Iwata and 56 for Steve Jobs. That's because they falsely believed several things. Number one, that they could afford the best doctors, which would give them the best bet for survival and great long life. Secondly, they believe that if you just spend a lot of money on food, get the best chefs, you're going to get everything you need from your food. Neither of them supplemented. Okay? So, they chose poorly. Well, when you look at it, Dr. Li from north central China died May 6, 1933. His obituary was in the New York Times and the London Times. Again, that was May 6, 1933. He was born 1677. He was 256 when he died. I believe that we can actually get there. I believe we can consciously get there. Remember, Dr. Li got there by dumb accident. He didn't even know what he did. Once you get a hold of the book Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, get a hold of the book Immortality, get a hold of the book Rare Earths and Cures, and those three books will just really give you the details of what it takes to live a long, healthful life, maximize your genetic potential for longevity. And we have a new DVD out, Somebody Needs to Go to Jail. It's my lecture, about 2 hours, my lecture, plus all the slides that I use in my lecture. Very, very well done. Great photography, great sound. And then, of course, the new CD is Public Enemy #1. And then the good old standby, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, the CD. You get these learning tools, and you'll be able to add 25 to 50 healthful years to your life and the life of your children, your loved ones, your workmates and neighbors and church family. And if we all do this, we'll save America. But if we leave it in the hands of the medical doctors, we're going to fail. They bankrupt every country. Once a country goes from being a third world culture to a first world culture, it doesn't take but 10, 15, 20 years. The medical system bankrupts them if the country is paying for the health care. Okay? And so you think about that. Well, what are some of the reasons why the top 20 longevity cultures do better than the top 20 financial cultures, okay, the first world nations? Why are the top 20 longevity cultures third world countries? Well, it turns out that they still get all 90 cents of nutrients. They've been using something for thousands and thousands of years, which we did until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, on the bluff overlooking the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge. Thomas Edison pulled the switch in the first commercial electric generating plant, and all humans around the world figured out that if you throw wood ashes in the garden every morning from your stove or fireplace or fire pit, the garden grows better. But they didn't realize that the minerals that are the trees sucked up out of the ground or are left when you burn the wood for fuel are in the vegetables and nuts and fruits that you grow using the wood ashes as fertilizer. Well, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, that all ended because 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, in the bluff overlooking the construction of Brooklyn Bridge, Thomas Edison pulled the switch in the first commercial electric generating plant. There's no more wood ashes when you fuel your home with electricity. And then, of course, politicians got into the deal. They electrified the Tennessee Valley. They electrified the 7 southwestern states. Big projects, thousands of jobs. It was just a great boon to society. But there was an unintended consequence, flood control. And every year since the beginning of time, the rivers would flood in the spring. When the water would recede out of the fields and the bottomlands and the valleys, what was left was silt. And the silt are the minerals from mountains hundreds or maybe even thousands of miles upstream. The farmers would plow this in every spring and renew the mineral content of the soil. Well, once we got hydroelectric plants to generate more electricity, no more flooding. And everybody thought that was a benefit, but the unintended consequence was no more silt, no more minerals, no more nutrition. Even U.S. Senate Document 264 came out in 1936 and said there's no longer any nutritional minerals in our soil, and therefore our human health is severely at risk. U.S. Senate did a 2-year hearings from 1934 to 1936, and this document 264, Senate Document 264, was the outcome of those 2 years of hearings. Okay, very, very devastating, but nobody paid attention to it except maybe a few farmers. Well, this is the reason why we've come up with the 90 cents nutrients. Of course, we need the 90 cents nutrients every day. So I urge you again to get a hold of the book Epigenetics, the book Immortality, the book Rare Earths and Cures, the DVD Somebody Needs to Go to Jail, the 2 CDs Dead Doctors Don't Lie, and Public Enemy #1, and learn how to take the 90 cents nutrients, get on a calorie-restricted diet, stay away from the bad stuff. Oh, yeah, stay away from doctors. You'll add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie for these messages. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us today?
Well, we've got some medical personnel in a bit of hot water now, as I've got a CNN story here, headline, Detroit doctor sentenced to 45 years in prison. I thought I'd never live to see the day that a doctor actually got some prison time for some of his ill deeds. They say a Michigan doctor accused of treating healthy patients for cancer in order to make millions was sentenced to 45 years in federal prison. Prosecutors say Dr. Farid Fatah either overtreated terminal cancer patients, misdiagnosed healthy people, or undertreated actual cancer patients. Family members who say Fatah killed their loved ones gathered for the sentencing. Fatah pumped more than 500 patients with unnecessary drugs, even giving chemotherapy drugs to those who didn't need it, collecting millions from insurance companies. Victims say the former doctor should have gotten 175 years behind bars, not 45. According to one wife of one victim, she says, "This man killed my husband and I want to see him put away." They say later in the story here, in court all week, Fatah was described as stone-faced, but after the sentencing, he broke down, letting out loud sobs, begging the court for mercy. He didn't really allow the patients he killed to beg for mercy, I guess. So now you got this one comes from Pennsylvania. Authorities say a nurse dropped a newborn baby at a hospital, fracturing his skull. Mother says the doctor told her the nurse was drowsy. The 30-year veteran nurse at Uniontown Hospital was holding a baby around 6 a.m. when he fell from her grasp. Mother Jacqueline Hunt said the pediatrician told her that the nurse was feeding and burping the one-day-old son, and she was drowsy and fell asleep and dropped him. It says the skull fracture is expected to recover from it. And got another one here. This is about an anesthesiologist that a guy was getting ready to do a colonoscopy, and he was in the habit of using his smartphone, to record instructions that he could recall later. So he did so before the surgery and forgot to turn the thing off during the colonoscopy, and they say accidentally left the recording on during the whole procedure on his smartphone. And he says upon riding home and listening to the playback, he learned that his doctors had mocked him relentlessly throughout the procedure. The man was learned what he'll get for being referred to by the anesthesiologist Tiffany Ingram as probably having tuberculosis in the penis. $50,000 for that comment alone. As part of a $500,000 payout. Defamation portion was included, another $50,000 tied to Ingram warning an assistant not to touch the genital rash and saying you might get syphilis or something on your arm. Also called the man big wimp and retard, joked about firing a gun up his rectum and made fun of his alma mater, and threatened to falsely note on his chart that he had hemorrhoids, and she did indeed note on his chart that he had hemorrhoids. The jury also awarded another $200,000 for punitive damages and $200,000 for medical malpractice. So at least some of these bad medical people are getting what they got coming to them finally.
Yeah, well, there's social media now, and they can't deny they said something because, like you say, you have recordings and this kind of stuff. And so, the social media, the electronics, records that are tappable now, where before, they could just burn them. Well, now everybody's got them. And so we're going to see more and more of this. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. the medical system has bankrupted every country in the world that pays for medical care. And Greece is one of them. Japan is very close. In 1970, the cost of medical care in Japan was 23 trillion yen. Today, in 2000, I think it was 2008, it was 400 trillion yen. Went from 23 trillion to 400 trillion. And the total tax base, the income from taxes of all sources for Japan is 423 trillion yen. Pretty scary. But thank you, Doug, for bringing this one up. It's about time some of these jokers went to jail. There should be more. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages. Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Florida. And Alita, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Alita, you're on the air.
Thank you, doctor. This is Alida, Alexis' mother. And 3 weeks ago, I gave you a call and I asked about Alexis, and she's doing much better, except the CM Plus she took 3 days ago, not with the shipment problems. I want to ask you, I forgot last time, she had a diarrhea from the milk and from the eggs and the fish. Do you think I can try? Maybe she doesn't have now. She's not going to have now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it's possible that she has diarrhea from the milk because she has a lactose intolerance, which is lactose is milk sugar. It's made out of galactose and glucose, and if you're missing an enzyme, I can't break that down. It's not unusual to get diarrhea and bubbly intestines and lots of gas and all that kind of stuff. And how old is Alexis now?
She's 17, a month and a half. She's closing 18.
Okay. All right. And how much does she weigh?
77 pounds. 77.
Okay. So, Shar, are you there?
And
okay, Shar, what would you give a 77-pound girl who's 17 years old, going on 18, and she has digestive problems? What would you do for her?
Well, I'd give her the enzymes, for one thing.
Ultimate enzymes, right.
Yeah.
And what would you do about her diet?
Get her on a gluten-free diet, for sure.
Okay, and I'd also get rid of the milk, dairy products out of her life to see if lactose intolerance has anything to do with it. And then after a while, if everything calms down with the milk out and a gluten-free diet, then try and reintroduce in the cheese and the milk to see if the enzymes are the proper thing that will help her be able to digest that lactose down so she won't have all the gas and the diarrhea and everything. So it's a little bit of a process. But in the meantime, get rid of all the bad stuff, no fried foods, no processed meats, oils, or gluten. Get rid of the milk in her case. And then take the ultimate enzymes and have her take one of those, like 2 minutes before each meal, a couple ounces of water. And give us a call every couple of weeks. We'll walk you through this, Alita. We'll be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way on Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages.
Right, let's head to Independence, Missouri. And Doug, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Oh, Doug, you're on the air.
Oh, hi, Doc. Hey, thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you. What's up?
I have a man here who wants to reverse some issues he has. He's 79 years old, 6'1", weighs 210 pounds. He had hip replacement surgery 9 years ago. When he woke up, he was on dialysis. And he's still on dialysis, and his creatine level's up to about 6. He still urinates some, and his blood glucose is around 130. He's had severe arthritis for about 40 years, and now he has herniated disc. He even has trouble stepping up on steps now, and his toes are bent under pretty severely.
Okay, those are called hammer toes. Hammer toes, okay.
Okay. He's on lefloxacin for thyroid, and he's on Coumadin for blood clots. You just started him on lanthanum carbonate, the chewable tablets to reduce your phosphorus, and his cholesterol is only 149. He's had diarrhea for the last 4 or 5 years. Also, he's on gabapentin for neuropathy in his feet.
Okay. All right. Does he have any skin problems, or respiratory problems?
No.
Okay. Okay, this is a Shar thing. Shar, this guy has diarrhea. He's got neuropathy, which is usually degenerative disc disease in the back. He has disc disease causing pain down his legs or down his hands. Low thyroid, type 2 diabetes. He's on dialysis. He's had hip replacement, so he's got severe bone-to-bone arthritis all over the place. What's this guy's basic problem?
He's definitely got a gluten intolerance, because that's why he keeps getting all these different things wrong with him.
Yeah, every one of them is nutritional deficiency, and so that's because he can't absorb. He's got gluten intolerance, okay? And so what program would you put him on?
Well, I'd get him on 2 healthy blood sugar packs, and I would add glucogel for the arthritis, and I would add the Ocean's Gold for the thyroid issue, and I would add Ultimate Daily for the kidney problem.
Okay. Yeah, for dialysis, yeah, absolutely. I'd throw in the Ultimate Daily. We have a new one out, too. It's called Ultimate Cardio Sticks, and I would go ahead and throw those in for good measure for the kidney problems, because it encourages circulation, just like the Ocean's Gold, just like the Ultimate Daily tablets will encourage circulation, so will the new Ultimate Cardio Stick. So I would just throw that new one in. But otherwise, I'd give you 100 plus there, kiddo. You did a great job. And so if you would, Doug, give us a call every couple of weeks. Let us know how this guy's doing. He's going to have to be really obsessive about the diet, because we want him to be able to absorb all these nutrients. We want him to be sure to stay away from the bad stuff, stop all the inflammation. Because when you're on dialysis, that means the dirty blood's not making it into the filtering units. There's usually nothing wrong with the kidney itself, but the little arteries that carry the dirty blood into the filtering units are plugged, and so we have to encourage blood flow through those blocked arteries, and that's what the Ultimate Daily tablets and the Ultimate Cardio Sticks are for. So give us a call every couple of weeks. Let us know how this guy's doing. We'll walk you guys through this. This sounds pretty straightforward, and Shar nailed it. We'll be back after these messages.
Well, let's head to Alabama, and Wanda, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Oh, Wanda, you're on the air. Hi, how can we
Dr.
help
Wallach.
you?
How you doing?
Fabulous. What's
How
up?
are you?
Very good, thank you. What's up?
The last time I talked to you was about 4 months ago. Somebody with rheumatoid arthritis. They're doing a lot better. Thank you. Now I'm trying to help another friend. Now I'm trying to help another friend of mine who has been bedbound for 18 months. She weighs 425 pounds. She has bone-on-bone arthritis. That's why she's been bedbound. And so I want to put her on some nutrients. But her concern is her medication. She takes thyroid medication, Paxil, and Norvasc. So she wants help. She wants to be able to get out of the bed and feel better. So what can you recommend?
Okay, is she taking Paxil for depression, or what's she taking it for?
Paxil for depression, Norvasc, thyroid medication, Lasix, and vitamin D.
Okay. All right. So the doctor's giving her one nutrient, vitamin D, without the other 89. That's interesting. Okay, this is a Shar thing. Here's a lady, 425 pounds. How tall is this lady here, Wanda? Do you know?
How tall are you, Vicki?
About
5'1". 5'1".
Okay, 5'1". I'd like to see her weigh 105 pounds, so she needs to lose 320 pounds. Okay? So, Shar, what would you do for this lady? She's got bone-to-bone arthritis, got low thyroid, got depression. What would you do for her?
Well, first of all, I'd get her a gluten-free diet, and next, she needs, if she can afford it, she needs to take 4, and I'd get her on, if she's got arthritis, I'd get her 4 healthy bone and joint packs, but then she needs to add de-stress for the depression.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good.
And she needs to add the ASAP for the weight loss.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Shar's exactly right. Got to get rid of all the bad stuff. I'd go even farther than what Shar said. Instead of getting rid of gluten, I'd get rid of all grains, absolutely no grains, no wheat, no barley, no rye, no oats, no rice, no millet, no buckwheat, no pasta, none of that kind of stuff. No breads, no pizza crust, no muffins, no bread, no croutons. I mean, absolutely no carbohydrates, no sugar, no fruit, no dried fruit, no fresh fruit, no juices. Okay? She's going to get everything she needs from vegetables that she would get from fruit without all the sugar problems. So I'd have her just live on vegetables, mixed vegetables. You know, there's many different types of vegetables she can, except for potatoes. No potatoes, either white potatoes or the sweet potatoes, no potatoes. But, you know, all the green stuff and tomatoes and carrots and celery and all that kind of thing. And then she needs, of course, eggs. and red meat, and her servings of red meat, regardless of the type, or fish or chicken, should be the size of a deck of cards. And then, again, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils. That means no olive oil, coconut oil, mayonnaise, salad dressing, cooking oils, none of that kind of stuff. We've got to be serious here if she's going to make it, okay? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And so Ashar said I'd go ahead and get her on 3 or 4, whatever she can afford, 3 or 4 of the, I'd go ahead with the healthy bone and joint packs. That will allow her to have a full dose of everything 3 or 4 times a day, including the glucogel. I want her to have at least 20 glucogel a day, 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner, 5 at bedtime. And they're designed to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone matrix. The depression, obviously, Shar nailed that one. The de-stress capsules, 4 of those 3 times a day. That's 3 bottles a month of the de-stress capsules. And the thyroid, I'd have her get 3 bottles a month of the Ocean's Gold. That's 12 of those a day. 4 at breakfast, 4 at lunch, 4 at dinner. And then for the weight loss, I'd go ahead and get her 2 bottles a month of the ASAP, have her take a dropper full, not a drop, but a full dropper full under her tongue 30 minutes before each meal, a full dropper full, a second one each meal, 15 minutes before the meal, and require 2 bottles a month to pull that off, and let her absorb the 2 dropperfuls under her tongue through her oral tissues. Don't let her swallow. It won't hurt if she swallows it, but she won't get maximum benefit. And she's going to begin to lose after, certainly within a week, she's going to begin to lose anywhere from a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. Sometimes when people need to lose a lot of weight, I've seen for a 2-week period, they might lose 4 pounds a day. We had people, one guy in Charlotte, North Carolina, he weighed 428 pounds, very close to this, 3-pound difference. And within 7 months, he was down to 157 pounds. And your friend Wanda can do the same thing here, but she's going to have to be obsessive about this. At 5'1", she's extremely morbidly obese, and this, she's really in trouble here. And so we're going to work on all her problems, but she's going to have to be obsessive about this. And this is a forever thing. Obviously, when she gets down to 300 pounds, she'll be able to cut her dosage of everything by a third. Get down to 225 pounds, she'll be able to cut everything in half again. But she needs to stay on the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for her body weight. And again, I'd like to see her weigh 105 pounds. And this will be a process, might take 5, 6, 7 months to pull this off, but she'll be able to do it. And thank you so much for introducing us to this woman. Let us know every couple of weeks her weight and blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
All right, let's head to Trinidad and Tobago. And Sean, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Sean, you're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. Thanks
Hi, what's up?
giving me the time.
Yes.
So basically, I just want to run down a few things I've noticed about myself through the years. I'm 25 years, 275 pounds, and my main aim is to basically lose the weight, right? And these are some of the things I've noticed. I've had a lot of irritable bowel problems. I had some dry skin, itchy skin, cavities. Now I'm having a few strands of gray hair showing up. I had a few external hemorrhoidal problems. And recently I had to do a medical before I got a new job. And one of the things I noticed is that my blood pressure was 153 over 90, right? So the doctor gave me 2 recommendations. One was to basically buy my own monitor, do some testing today until Monday to come back to the clinic and basically give them an update on the record. So basically take it at morning and night and reduce salt. I know that reduction of salt thing is craziness, so I didn't do that. But last night when I took my blood pressure was 119 over 78, and when I took my blood pressure this morning, it was 118 over 81. So I believe it could have been a little anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. It's called white coat hypertension. When you go to the doctor's office, people get nervous, especially when you're applying for a job and all this kind of stuff. And so that's called white coat hypertension. Very common. And maybe this guy's very clever. This doctor's very clever because he said go home and take it yourself for a week and let's see how it is when you come back. Okay? And that's very smart on his part because he recognized the problem. Okay, Char, what would you do for this fellow? 275 pounds. Oh, hang on. We got to come back. But we'll come back and we'll give you what we think is a program for you, Sean, after these messages. Okay, how tall are you, Sean?
Okay, yes, I'm 5'9", and just to make one point is on my national ID card, my height was at 184 centimeters, right? And when they checked my height during the medical, it was 179. So what I believe is that at the time when I got my ID card, I was 17 years. Now I'm 25 years. I think they took into account maybe a shoe I had on, but that still shows that I could have some height loss.
Yeah, if you had shoes on, then it's not a correct height. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, let's at 5'9", I'd like to see you weigh 165, 175, 180 maybe, and so gosh, you're 100 pounds overweight here. Okay. So, Char, what would you do for this guy?
Well, when he said he had skin problems, I would get him on a gluten-free diet, for one thing. And then he needs to get on I would just get him on a healthy three healthy start packs. And then I would also get him some enzymes, for he said he had bowel problems. I would try enzymes.
Okay, and what would you do for the gray hair and the hemorrhoids?
Well, that would be the copper, which is selenium.
Yep, some more selenium. Yep, exactly right. I'd go ahead and take 9 of our selenium a day, Sean, in addition to everything Shar said. Okay, and this is 3 healthy start packs per month, a full dose of everything 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a gluten-free diet, no wheat, barley, rye, oats. The gray hair and the hemorrhoids are caused, and oftentimes spider veins, varicose veins, even aneurysms are caused by the same thing, a deficiency of one mineral. And so this is a cofactor of making our selenium work better. So I'd go ahead and take those 9 selenium a day of the ultimate seleniums, which has this cofactor in it called copper. And you should see a return of your hair, natural hair. Hemorrhoids will often go away very quickly within weeks when you do this. And so then, what would you give him for the weight loss, Char?
Oh, ASAP.
ASAP, there you go. And since you need to lose more than 50 pounds, you need to lose 100 pounds, I'd go ahead with 2 bottles a month, a dropper full under your tongue 30 minutes before each meal, a dropper full under your tongue 15 minutes before each meal. Absorb it through your oral tissues, not swallow it. Won't hurt you if you swallow it, but you won't get maximum benefit. And you should be able to lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. So realistically, we're looking at anywhere from 3 to 5, 6 months in there somewhere, depending on how obsessive you are about doing everything right. You should be able to lose this weight and get down to where you need to be, 175, and lose that 100 pounds. Hair color should come back. Hemorrhoids should go away. Very straightforward stuff. But you got to be gluten-free forever. The blood pressure, I think, is in the normal range. And this 153/90 was an aberration because you were nervous about being at the doctor's office. Okay. How much time we have here, Doug?
Got just about a minute.
Okay, 1 minute. I'm going to go ahead and take it because I really, really want everybody to get on this new book system we have here, Epigenetics, the Death of Genetic Theory Disease Transmission. Okay, I also want you to get the new CD, Public Enemy #1, and the new DVD, Somebody Needs to Go to Jail. And then if you're trying to do the longevity system as a business, rather than just muddle around and hope and pray everything works out, why don't you get a hold of the trilogy books, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, Passport Aromatherapy, and learn how to deal with over 900 different diseases using vitamins and minerals and trace minerals and rare earths, amino acids, fatty acids, herbs, aromatherapy oils. If you have never been in business by yourself, I would actually get a hold of that book, Wall Street for Kids, and learn about making a business plan, learn how to deal with taxes, learn how to be profitable, learn how to introduce the longevity program to other people, lending out the CD, Somebody Needs to Go to Jail, or the CD, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, whichever flips your switch, and or you have both, and just alternate, and you'll find out which one works the best for you in your area. Okay, well, thank you so much for our super job as usual. Thank you so much, Doug and Billy. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. God